Manchester United versus Manchester City. Manchester Derby. Time when the world stops. Everybody's trying to watch and check and see which Manchester team is going to come up on top. Unfortunately, this season's Manchester Derby isn't scintillating, um isn't very as isn't as hyped up as it usually is. One, because Manchester United is going through its own transition, new manager, couple of new players here and there. Then you've got Pep Guardiola as well going through his first very tough season as a manager. I don't think Pep Guardiola has ever experienced anything like what he is experiencing right now with Manchester City. So, Manchester United versus Manchester City this Sunday. Let's go. Now, I have got a couple of lineups that I think are going to be what we use. And there are certain variations. And the reason why there are variations is because we are not too sure who's going to be physically fit to actually play. You know, I know some people saw Mount. We saw Mount make a cameo. Does that mean that Mason Mount is going to start this derby? I don't think so. But then I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Do you understand? But I highly doubt it. I really do, because playing him in such a high pressure game, in a very important game, our rivals, you know, there's a lot of derbies are always heated up. Derbies always have something, an element of, you know, something can go wrong at any time. Now, we don't want to put him in those kind of situations where he might find himself having to battle it out with the players because of the pride or whatever. So this is how these are the variations of starting lineups that I came about. And I'm going to put the starting lineup that I think is going to start, and then I'm going to put a couple of starting lineups that I think might start if the starting lineup, the main starting lineup, doesn't start. You know what I'm saying? If that makes any sense. Anyway, my first starting lineup for this game, it goes like this. And I'll explain why I put it that way. We have Onana at goal because Onana is our number one. Let's get real. Let's move on. You know, unless Ineos decides to actually go and buy the defender and we see the defender holding the shirt, Onana is our number one. This thing of us trying to keep on go in and out on Onana, it's a waste of time. He's going to be there, and mind you, he's just quietly doing his job. It's only when he has a howler where his howlers actually are very loud. I guess maybe that's the word I'm trying to say. His howlers are very, very loud. Every time he makes a mistake, that mistake stays. It lasts long. So Onana is gonna be our number one. Lenny Yoro, we saw him. Maguire, we saw him back. Matthias de Ligt. That is my preferred centre back defense. I'm not saying that Mazraoui is not a good fit, because Mazraoui, you know him, he's super Mazraoui. You know, he plays anyway. So my defense will be de Ligt, Maguire, and Yoro, with Maguire occupying that center position, Yoro on the left, and de Ligt on the right. And then in the middle, we'll have Ugarte and Casemiro. Ugarte and Casemiro just for that holding, just to control the midfield. Now, something strange happened against Nottingham Forest, which was Ugarte being substituted out. We don't know if that was because of an injury prevention. We don't know if that was managing his minutes. We don't know if he picked up something. We're still waiting to see the press conference with the gaffer. That's when we will find out whether Ugarte will be able to play or not. Even Kobe Menu. Kobe Menu has been. They said that he came back, but he's not fully fit. Ugarte played, but then he was then substituted. Why? He's one of the players that should be playing in, especially in a game like this one, a derby. In fact, any other big tough team, Ugarte needs to be part of the squad. He actually needs to play 90 minutes. So what is the situation there? I have a theory, and I believe that Ugarte is a injury-prone player, which is very difficult for me to say. When I say injury-prone, I don't mean it like Anthony Martial. No, I just mean it like he's not going to be consistently on our midfield roster. because he can pick up a niggle there, he can pick up an ankle there, he can pick, he can pull something here and there. So I don't know. And to be honest, in this particular situation, I absolutely do not know why he took out Ugarte. I don't know if I missed it in the press conference or like I'm not sure, but I don't know why. So with that being said, I'll have Ugarte and Casemiro because Amorim has already found a way. He has adapted to his players. He has already found a way to deal with Casemiro. He's realized Casemiro has got no legs to run all that distance. So he has created a situation where Casemiro is able to attack those lines in between, break up play, especially when a team is trying to force a counter. Now, unfortunately, if he's also in that counter position and they force a counter, unfortunately for us, Casemiro is going to be beaten. Like when it comes for pace, he's not there. But then Amorim has figured out that no, Casemiro, regardless of him not having the pace, he has the eye. He can ping balls forward. He can generate like Casemiro is the like one of the guys that switches plays quickly, knows how to find those runs and quickly transition the ball, moving it from defense to attack. He's one of the best at doing that, and he's quick at doing it. So I think Ruben Amorim has understood his strengths and he's using them. So then if you have Ugarte and Casemiro, Ugarte being the cleaner, code name the cleaner, him just tidying up like he always does. Ugarte, Ugarte is a unique player. In fact, I think he's just the same as Casemiro, just different. Because Casemiro was that guy, right? Bum bam, bum bam, bum bam, bum 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 in the midfield, bulldozing. We move. Ugarte is the same thing, just in a very different way. So you have Ugarte, you have Casemiro holding that midfield, not really doing much, but holding it. Because we're going to be going up against the likes of Bernardo Silva, maybe Phil Foden, maybe Gundo, maybe Kova, maybe McAtee, maybe who else are in that midfield roster for Man City. So we need players that have got experience, who are combative, that are not just going to be like and it's going to be a battle in that midfield. So we need to win those battles. Now, in those wingback positions, in my first lineup, you see that I don't have Dalot. Now, I've already explained to you my situation with Dalot. So every time you don't see Dalot in my team, just understand why. I don't want to keep on explaining to you that it's because I don't see anything special with Diogo Dalot. So forgive me if you don't see him appear in these starting lineups or some starting lineups, and you're like, hey, Dalot's not going to play. And you know what's crazy? I believe that he will play. So me not putting him in is on me. Is me. It's a personal choice. I do not think with everybody fully fit, Dalot is in our starting 11. I don't believe it. Unless he turns a corner or something like that, I don't know. But I do not think so. Anyway, then in the number 10 positions, I have got Xerxes and Bruno. I didn't put Garnacho because Garnacho displayed a level of childishness against Nottingham Forest. That selfishness thing again, the not passing, and decision making was very poor. Now I know in situations like this, you don't pull the kid out and say, no, you will bench. No, because you be like, you keep on doing it. He overdid it against Nottingham Forest. He overdid it. We had multiple opportunities for us to hurt them. But then players are always thinking about themselves, always thinking about their glory. And I think that Garnacho in this particular situation was very selfish. I was not happy. So with that, I am not putting him in this team because he will be doing the same thing. Just shooting where it's not working. I don't understand how people keep saying that, like, he's one, like, why is Ahmad not part of the conversation? Is it because he's African? Why are people, like, even when we're talking about the team that is fit or what, nobody mentions Ahmad. It's almost like his name just gets, and I'm saying that because I'm just deepening it now. Everybody's just talking about Garnacho, useless. Okay, that's a rant. That's me just going a bit. Okay. And then in that number 9 position, we'll have Rasmus Højlund. Now, Xerxes, in this last game, one of the mistakes that I believe Ruben Amorim made was making Xerxes the number 9. Xerxes is not a number 9. We all know it. He knows it. Ruben Amorim knows it. Bruno Fernandes knows it. Everybody in the world knows that Xerxes is not a number 9. He's a makeshift number 9. He can do a job in that number 9 position, but he is not a specialist number 9. He's not Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund is not as good as he should be at the moment, but he is a number 9. Does that make any sense? Anyway, Xerxes plays a number 10. I told you guys in the previous episode that Xerxes is our future 10, is our future Bruno. If we are thinking about somebody that's going to be a Mazella in the final third, it is going to be Xerxes. Xerxes' hold-up play is amazing. The way he brings the ball down is amazing. He is a dribbler. It's not very easy to take the ball away from him. He is complete when it comes to that attacking position. Xerxes. And I don't know why Ruben Amorim didn't trust him against Nottingham Forest, because it would have been very easy for Bruno, very, very easy to find somebody. Xerxes is available. He knows those interchanging passes, those connection passes. He's very good. 1-2s. He's very good. He's very good. He's very good of finding himself out of these tight positions, tight, awkward situations. And he's very good driving with the ball. When he gets that ball in that midfield, he's very good. Kind of like what we wanted Frankie de Jong to do. We needed a ball carrier from that midfield, deep into the midfield. We needed somebody who could carry the ball, who could pick it up from there, pick it up from the back, comfortably cruise through that midfield, carrying that ball. We needed somebody to do that. Now, Xerxes is not a defensive midfielder. He's not a midfielder per se. I mean, I think he can do a job, but the way he plays, the way he contributes, the way he carries the ball, he gives those vibes. He gives those vibes. So I believe you remove the low IQ players who I believe are Garnacho and Delo. Like, look, let's call a spade a spade. We're not here to baby anyone. We want to win. Just putting them there just because for the sake of this hype or whatever, it makes no sense. Delo's not good. He's not good enough. He's not. He's a liability. He has his moments where, yeah, you'll be like, wow, he was decent. Like this game against Nottingham Forest. He wasn't wow, he was all right. Now, Delo's playing on this side. Mazraoui plays on this side. Mazraoui always gives us 7 out of 10 every game. You look at the shape of the team. If this is how it is, it's always like this. With Mazraoui and Delo. Like this. Like this. What is that? So you will find that Mazraoui, Delo is not there. Right? So with that being said, I think this is a very good team. I don't think that's going to be picked like this, but I think this is a team that can do the business against Manchester City. Unfortunately, we don't have an Ahmad. If Ahmad was right there, then I would have substituted one of these midfielders in this pivot here between Ugarte and Casemiro. It probably would have been Casemiro. Well, would it have been? Because Casemiro has been playing lately with Bruno, so I don't know. Maybe it would have been Casemiro. I don't know. But one of these, Ugarte, Casemiro would have been gone, and then I put Bruno in there, and then Ahmad comes into that position, that number 10 position, not wing back, because we want him to focus a lot of his energy. We don't want him to. I mean, he can defend if he wants, but we don't want him to defend. We want him to just keep on bombarding forward, bomba. That's what we want. So I would have put Ahmad in that number 10 position together with Xerxes under Rasmus Højlund. Finished. Then Bruno, he can ping his balls and do whatever he wants in that midfield because that's what he loves to do. And then, yeah, we move. The second lineup that I see, I have got Onana. My backline has not changed. I've not put Delo. I've not put Aiden because I'm not too sure. I've not put Lindelof because he's down the pecking order. I have not put... Oh, no, this is actually a different one. Sorry. Now that I'm reading it. It's Onana. And then I put Mazraoui. I put Maguire and I put De Ligt. Now, if I put Mazraoui in that position, that defensive position, that 3 center at the back, then there's opportunity for Dalot to come in and do his thing. Because That's naturally how it is. So we will have Mazraoui, Maguire, De Ligt, centre back. In the midfield, there we'll have Delot, we'll have Ugarte, Casemiro, and Dogu. And then Xerxes, Bruno, Højlund. I think in compared to the other thing, the only substitutions there you could say is the defense. Is me taking out Euro and putting in De Ligt or Mazraoui. That's the only change. And then the other one that I have as well is De Ligt, Maguire, Euro with Mazraoui in that fullback, right fullback. Then you've got Ugarte, Bruno. Ugarte and Bruno in that pivot. Dogu doing his thing on the left. Zexi, Garnacho, and Højlund. This one I put Garnacho for the sake of putting Garnacho, but I could have easily put Mason Mount there. You know what I'm saying? I could have put Mason Mount. I could have put who could I have put there? I could have put Chido Obi as a starting, one of the strikers. I could have. So those are the variations of the starting lineup that I believe we are going to see. We're going to see a combination of all these three that you see on your screen. The players that will be there will play in this Manchester derby. I don't know otherwise. Now, let's talk about Manchester United. Are we improving? Because I'm sick and tired of people just sitting there and just saying, okay, because you know what? Let me say it right. I understand your frustrations. I understand your concerns. I understand that being in the position that we are in right now doesn't motivate or inspire what's the word? It doesn't inspire togetherness or whatever, like winning mentality or cult, like that thing. It doesn't. I understand that. But you will need to understand that this Manchester United team, again, and I don't want to use this as an excuse, because I told myself that, look, we know that we are Manchester United. Whatever excuse that we're going to bring up as a fan base, it's just going to be crushed, because nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about Manchester United. They would rather see us get beaten. It's all, I truly believe, if people really thought Manchester United was going to be relegated, that is the only moment where people will be like, nah, this is sad. This shouldn't be. Like it's truly in front of us, like where we can't deny it, where Manchester United is 19th, minus whatever, we've been beaten and maybe like 2-3 games left. There's just no way for us to get out of this relegation. So I think that is when the entire world will be like, I don't think people will be enjoying it. I don't think people will be like, yeah, Manchester. Nah, they don't, because we are giants. And we deserve to be amongst but we're not there at the moment. And I totally understand that. So whatever it is that we complain about, whatever it is that we say, is not going to matter. It's not going to matter. So it kind of breaks my heart when we see our fellow Manchester United fans also shitting and saying that there's no improvement. I mean, the gaffer said that there's improvement. The gaffer says it all the time. But we've got our own fans who are watching the game who don't see the improvement. Like, what are you watching? What are you watching, honestly? If you are not seeing that this team has moved, has transitioned from a 4-2-3-1 to a 3-4-3. Like, if you don't understand how it is, like just that little concept there by itself, transitioning from from 4 at the back to 3 is a big thing. Middle of the season, injuries, uncertainty, players just taking a piss, nobody looking like they want to be there, a manager coming in and trying to instill a different system. You want to tell me there's no improvement? Now the system is there, it is stuck. The only thing that is left, and we knew this. We knew Ruben Amorim coming into this squad, or coming into this team, right? What he's going to do is, he's going to come in, identify, basically he's going to come there, give everybody a clean slate. Bruno, Garnacho, you, Rashford, Anthony, you, everybody's got a clean slate. Rashford had a clean slate. Anthony had a clean slate. Tyrell Malacia had a clean slate. Jadon Sancho, I think, had already gone. But everybody had a clean slate at Manchester United when Ruben Amorim arrived. It was up to you as a player to come up and show yourself, make yourself be counted. It was up to you to impress the gaffer. You guys thought that the gaffer was supposed to impress you because that's what they were used to. These players were used to managers coming in and auditioning to them, and then they will decide, okay. Remember, bro, if you stop listening to us, we'll stop listening to you, and you'll be sacked. It's that simple. That's how these Manchester United players used to flow. That's how they used to roll. Getting managers sacked like that because they're not feeling it. They start in the beginning saying, oh, everything is good. The session was the session was grand, the session was blah, blah, blah. Nonsense. 2-3 weeks. Marcus Rashford, if I don't see a player conduct himself the right way in the way he talks to his manager, his players, his peers, how he conducts, how he dresses, and you're like, what the hell is going on? So you can imagine he's going through a transition. He has to uproot a very bad. It annoys me when people don't see the effort and what goes behind in trying to control. Our team was a disaster, an absolute disaster. Ruben Amorim has he made mistakes. He has learned from them. And he's going. Like, I understand, and the moment you start saying, don't tell me about possession and what, like the moment you kill the conversation for the improvement of the team, then there's no conversation. You have already shut down everything that who somehow, even the gaffer sees the improvement, you are not seeing the improvement. Do you understand? Like, you have shut it down because you've already told yourself, because we're in this position, how can we be improving? How? What is happening? And then you forget the caliber of players that we have. You forget how contaminated that dress room was. You forget the drama that this club comes with. You forget the players that we've had. I have never been on the support of the players, especially when it's player versus manager. Never. I've always been on the manager's side. Always. So we know the players that we've got. We understand them. We know that Dalot is forever available, but his decision making is, oh my God, is not of the highest level. It's not of somebody who we expect to be playing at the highest level. It is not. Garnacho is tipped to be the next best thing. There's a dilemma there. Because if we bash him as a kid, we're not allowing him to grow. But the moment we leave him, he just takes a piss. It's like, what do you do? Do you shout? Do you criticize? Do you leave him? What do you do? We leave it there. Then we've got Bruno. Sometimes he's an ace, sometimes can make you pull your hair. So it is what it is. We've got those things. We've had those things. So you add all of that together with Ineos, the stories, how they've been going about this club, how you can see that there is no way all this can translate to the football pitch when everything up there is just a disaster. Mind you, the 3-4-3 has taken shape. No longer are we getting caught. Yes, it is a very risky formation, but what formation isn't? It is his preference. It works if he's got the right players. We don't have the right players in all the positions. It is up to Ineos to replace that. Meantime, we have to deal with that. Meantime, we have to find a way to stay afloat. We have to find a way to win the Europa. We have to find a way to break it into that top 10. How do we do it? The 3-4-3. Ruben Amorim has not changed. He has not changed his word and he's been moving. We are also here. So the moment you say that we're not improving, you shut down everything. And if you look at all the games that we've been playing, oh my God. For someone to say that we are not improving, especially when we've gone through the transition that we've gone through, it's a piss take. It is. It is like, so you just want this team to miraculously just be good, like with the nonsense that we have. When we don't pay attention to what's in front of us, yeah, it's very easy to fantasize. We are not good. That's true, you know. But to say we are not improving, come on, guys, come on. You look at now. You see, I feel silly bringing up these little improvements because it almost feels like nobody cares about that because people are complaining that we're not improving. So bringing up these little opportunities, these little things, it almost seems like I'm gonna be childish. The amount of people, I think Pastor D mentioned something that in one of his episodes, and I totally disagree with him in this one. He mentioned that there's no service for the striker. That is not true. That is not true. Which is why I can sit here and I can argue that. Because our strikers have been given opportunities. They have. We just have people that are not good enough. It's that simple. That front three, I'm sorry. Ever since we've lost Ahmad, ever since we've lost that creative spark for somebody to find, to unlock, because at the moment, we don't have that mercurial player that can decide to take the game by the balls and score and do things like Ahmad. We don't have that. Our best player, the player who nobody is talking about, nobody says has got the highest ceiling, and nobody says shit about. But if that guy is in our team, he's the mercurial player. He's the guy that unlocks everything. He does. So you don't have that. You just have this mediocre. What do you expect? Rasmus Højlund has been receiving a lot of balls. Even Zex. There's been a lot of crosses into the box, chances created. For people to sit there and say that the striker is not getting service is a lie. Because the service is there. It has been coming. Which is why these are the things that frustrate me. You can't say that these strikers are not getting service when there's service being delivered to them all the time. Rasmus Højlund has got a problem. He's got a problem with sticking to being a number 9. When he's put in that position, he wants to drift away. And when he drifts away, he doesn't find himself back into the game. He doesn't. We have to create all these special conditions for our strikers to score. You know that goal that Rasmus Højlund scored against it was not this game, but what game was that? When Bruno gave that very sweet pass where he crippled like 4 defenders with one pass. Rasmus Højlund takes it into his stride. He brings it down, scores. Do you know that goal? I was surprised. You know that goal? I was holding my breath because I was like, man, if you don't score this, I don't know. So to say that these guys are not getting service is not true. It's not true. Our forwards are getting service. Our forwards are creating chances. The amount of chances we create against Nottingham Forest. Are you kidding? It's just that they beat us and they're on top of us and it's okay. Because no, Nottingham Forest are a better team than Manchester United. Look where they are. They're third. So obviously if they beat you, it means they're better than you. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? We just have players that just don't score. That don't have the brain to pass. You see your fellow your comrade there. Pass, bro. Give him. You don't. You want to shoot. Cool. Cool. Then when we get pissed off, you start getting sad. And then we don't celebrate when you score. You're like, oh, he's upset that we're not celebrating because he what the fuck? So yeah, with that being said, that thing Pastor D saying that Rasmus Højlund no service, that's not true. That one I disagree. It is not true because our forwards have been getting chances and we have been creating chances. You look at our past games. Yes, we've lost, drawn or whatever. But if you watch the game, we're not losing like we lost to to Liverpool under Erik ten Hag, that 3-0. Or losing first after we got after the storm. You know when Ruben Amorim said the storm is coming, when we started losing. We've not been losing like that. The boys are understanding the formation. They know that if they break, if there's a counter, they need to run back. They understand it. If you don't see that, I'm sorry. We are all watching a different kind of football. So I wanted to just call that out because I just felt like a lot of people are just saying, yeah, no, we're not seeing any changes. And I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're not seeing any changes? What do you mean you're not seeing any improvement? Unfortunately for us, this guy took over where we were very, very low. He took over like if you don't understand a team having to go through a transition of these guys, a lot of them, they need to unlearn things. They need to unlearn certain bad habits, certain things that they were so accustomed to doing in the old system into this new system. They need to rearrange their brain. They need to compartmentalize a lot of things because it is a completely different new setup. So if you are going in there with the same mentality of the 4-2-3-1, you're not going to survive. You're not going to understand. You're going to chow bench. You're going to chow bench because if the gaffer's telling you to do something, you're going to do something else. So yeah, so every time I go online and I hear people saying that now we're not improving, we're still 13, we're still down there. Nah, I'm like, nah, man, move. Miss me with that. What are you talking about? Yes, we are still in that position, but do you think that we're in that position like do you think we want to be there? Do you think like it is just by coincidence or miraculous that that we are there, forgetting all the drama, all the bullshit that has gone through the club? Every time we go through a very, very rough patch, all the fans, majority of the fans tend to forget the chaos that's surrounding the club. Always. Always. People are looking at Ole now. They're seeing him doing the business and what with Besiktas, beating teams. He's the guy, the gaffer, Ole at the wheel. Ole was also at the wheel at Manchester United. We gave him an opportunity. He derailed us once upon a time. He couldn't continue. He couldn't. So, yeah, man, I just wanted to come out and just talk about this thing and say, like, look, if people want to say that we're not improving, fine. How are you saying we're not improving? What are you, tell me what it is that we're not improving. Because number one, we've got into a new system, a new completely system. I want you to explain to me from this new system what it is that we're not doing, what it is that we've not improved based on what you're watching. Because compared to how we started and where we are right now, I'm much more comfortable now. I'm much more comfortable now. I looked at that Nottingham Forest game. I'm looking, yeah, we're losing, cool. But I always had this feeling that we could equalize or we could take this game. Now, that is a personal feeling because of how I am seeing this game is moving, how I'm seeing this team is going. I'm not naive. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying that, like, I'm not blindly supporting these guys. I'm not. But I'm not going to sit here and say things that are not correct. I'm not going to sit here and say that Bruno Fernandes is a fucking legend. Oh, Fernandes has been absolutely fantastic this season. That is a fucking lie. I can't say that. If I say that Bruno Fernandes has been absolutely fucking amazing this season, that is a lie. He has not been. If I am to rate Bruno out of 10 throughout this season, he is a 6. He's very average for me. Because of the beginning, because of how everything started. Actually, I need to do a player ratings. Yeah, I am going to do player ratings. Like, I'm going to rate the players, all the players from Onana all the way to Chido. From the beginning of the season, I'm going to include all the drama. I'm going to include everything that has played a role in Manchester United being where they are right now. I'm going to use it. So all bets are off. I don't care about that one game where Bruno was fucking fantastic. I don't care about that one game where Garnacho was unplayable. Nah, I'm going in on these guys. And I would be surprised if we have 8s in there. You know, like 8 point. Like, I'll be very, very surprised because the way I'm seeing it, the highest player rating I will give is going to be a 7 or a 7.5. The rest is below. So yeah, man. Thank you everybody for listening to the Glory Race podcast. It's your boy Don Benito. Don't forget to catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, all the podcasts. Just check us on all platforms. Peace.